It's down to as little as $25 a month, based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395.
Can you hear me okay?
800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
What's up, Spoonies? How you doing? Happy Monday. I hope yours is as good as mine. Actually, no Monday's good, but mine was pretty good. I had a good weekend, so I hope all you did too. It kind of rained here bad. It was like, I think there were like 3 inches of rain over there by where we live, up in kind of the north end of Dallas, and it was worse other places. But the weather cleared out Sunday. We had a pretty good time. Mom and Dad kept the kids, so Natalie and I we got to go see a really cool. I can't wait to tell you this, Patrick. Have you seen Queen's movie Bohemian Rhapsody?
Dude, you gonna call me out on this? Really? You really gonna? No.
You're missing out.
I know.
Okay, well, I'm lagging because it's been out for months, but I'll tell you this: I finally got to check it out, and it was awesome. I've always been a Queen fan since I was a little kid, and man,
great band, one of my favorite all-time favorite bands by far.
Such a anyway. So, but we didn't go to see it or anything like that. We went to dinner. We went to Ocean Prime, which is over here in downtown Dallas, and it was a really good, just kind of a mainstream but upscale type place. It was fabulous. But did you
have anything good to eat?
We did. So I had blackened redfish. I love any fish blackened, but the blackened redfish was really, really good.
Blackened in season is my favorite of all time, man. I got the original recipe from Paul Prudhomme.
Nice,
dude. You can get it in the Joy of Cooking, by the way, in one of the older editions.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the best.
I dig it. Anyway, so it was awesome. They did a really, really good job. They got this short rib type, it was short ribs and scallops, which I think is kind of they did a little surf and turf, which is weird, but because they didn't go well together, but they were great apart with little whipped, I think it was potatoes or something like that. Anyway, the short ribs were really good. It was just kind of a little appetizer thing, a little calamari. I think it was the whole meal was really, really good. But Natalie had what she had. Oh, so she had sea bass. And the sea bass was awesome. So
as
we'd be
Patagonian toothfish.
Yes, the Patagonian toothfish, a otherwise known as a junk fish in a lot of circles.
Yeah, they cut mercury laden,
but I love it. It's fantastic. It's a great fish, nice, rich, oily fish. But anyway, so hers was good, mine was good, and then after so Mom and Dad took the kids. It was raining so they had no sports or anything like that on Saturday. So Mom and Dad took them, and we got to go hang out and kind of have adult conversation without having to get interrupted. It was nice. And but when we were trying to decide what we wanted to do after the fact, and we're tired. We just we didn't want to go out dancing or anything like that.
Tired,
we just kind of want to hang out.
Come on, man. How old are you?
46 as of Thursday. You know what?
Happy
Here's
birthday,
the deal.
Man.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
I know I said that last week on
you
Facebook,
did.
But happy birthday.
You did. You gave me a shout out. I appreciate that. But anyway, so we decided that we would go home and watch a movie. I don't watch very many movies because I got ADHD. I'll start chewing the furniture and making like lewd charades with the lampshade and stuff. So. But one of the things that she loves to watch movies. So I said, all right, we're going to watch a movie, and she let me pick, and because I think she wanted to watch the Lady Gaga one, whichever one that was. But and we'll have to watch that another time. But anyway, she let me watch Bohemian Rhapsody, and it was awesome. It was so cool, and I kind of knew some of the story because I was following him well before Freddie Mercury passed on. So, man, that was good. So, any of you who haven't seen it,
and I will
check it out.
I promise. And so I can tell you, chef to chef, when a chef takes the time to watch a movie end to end. Because I'm telling you, I used to go to Redbox, rent stuff for my kids. I would fall asleep before the opening credits were open.
Yeah, or start doing other things.
Up 7 times, never seen the whole movie.
Yes.
But hey, just so you know, you got to call her live.
Sweet.
So
hello.
We can go, well, I can go live when you want, or you can go. You want to take it on now?
Yeah. You know what? Bring him in.
All right.
Bring him in. He can hang out with me. Is he on? Hire him.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up, dude? Hey, you know what? Hey, I had Patrick bringing you in a little bit early, man. You get to hang out with me pretty much the whole show.
Yeah, man. I just watched Bohemian Rhapsody the other day.
Did you really?
He was just talking about that.
It was good. I mean, it has nothing to do with food, but I guess it's got to do with art and radio. So, yeah, I felt compelled to share, and it was good. So, any of you who haven't seen it, who were like Queen fans or kind of old rock fans, and want kind of a little, a little bit of creative license, but from what I understood with when they had the interviews with the band and stuff, they really were behind this project. So apparently, it was really good. Go check it out. Anyway, so it was awesome. So what do you got? What you got happening?
Oh, hey, today's just kind of a Lego day, man. We got a couple storms passing through Pennsylvania here, just laying low and listening in. Got a lot of riverbanks and stuff coming up and stuff. So
I saw that.
A couple tornadoes touched down. Yeah, so just kind of like on alert, just standing by.
So I guess somewhat close proximity to where you live, there are some cities there are some little towns that are kind of close to where where the banks swell and so forth. And a year or two ago, I think they had some issues as well. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. There's a low bank area in that area, and the flooding gets pretty bad in that lower. And a lot of the houses can get affected. Up to 200 people got affected last year, and within the community of Port Carbon. So it's kind of a serious thing, and I just like to keep my eye on stuff like that in case there's anything I can do to help or anything like that. As far as that's
absolutely. Absolutely. No.
So I just something near and dear to me. So
of course.
But other than that, just relaxing on my day off, and I'm thinking about barbecuing this. So we got a lot of wind, so I probably get some good fires going in this wind. So
there you go. Yeah, you'll have no problem keeping a draft. You may have a problem keeping it down.
That's exactly right. You don't need a controller for that on them.
I love it. So for those of you just joining us, I have my good friend and kind of my culinary brother, and we've known each other a while now, and I think we pretty much we know each other's dirty little secrets. So the executive chef of Greenhouse Ateca and the executive chef of Lions Den Catering out of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, Chef Hiram Quintana, and I love it. I love having you with me, brother. Thanks for joining early.
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, you showed up like 10 minutes before on the other one, but that was actually a good thing. Last week, I had so much to kind of recap because of the NBBQA, the National Barbecue and Grilling Association annual conference.
Yeah.
I mean, it was I could have spent 2 hours on that probably. So it was actually great.
I'm so sad I missed that, man. But it was a great weekend at the restaurant. I'm really happy that I stuck it out there, and the crew over there really appreciates it too. I'm pretty sure that we all work together into this. So. Yeah,
no, you were where you needed to be, and ultimately, I mean, it was a fun event. I mean, it was good, but there are a lot of fun events. There are going to be a lot of good opportunities to do stuff throughout the year. So. We
get a long calendar food sport here, my friend.
Absolutely. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. Memphis in May. There's the American Royal and so forth. So we'll do something else down the road. And the NBBQA was great. It was well put together, and Vic and Saffron and all the people who were a part of the coordination. But they did a really good job. There were a couple. In fact, just if you'll bear with me, there are a couple of people I didn't thank last week. Kathy Pullen with Pullen's Premium Barbecue out of I think she's out of Seguin, but it's down kind of close to San Antonio. She allowed me to use she kind of gave me carte blanche on all of her seasonings and stuff like that, so I could do my SCA steaks and stuff on Friday night, and so she gave me pretty much carte blanche on all of it.
Gunter Wellington, I heard.
I did. so the mystery is over. We have finally cooked an SCA event on that pan.
Yeah, man, I was so excited.
It's been the talk of all the brand ambassadors. So you know what, we did it, and I enjoyed it. It was fine. I think I probably need to cook just a little bit different.
I'll tell you what, some of the best results some of the best results on steaks I'm getting from that pan. I use it right in the restaurant, right in the kitchen on a burner.
Yeah.
I don't even have a charbroiler. I just go with that pan, and some of the results I'm getting from that pan is fantastic, man.
Yeah,
if you really work that thing, you really work to your advantage.
Yep. Yeah, I cooked a little bit hot. I had to. I didn't have any choice. But I mean, I cooked on the charcoal chimney. So I should have just. I had a chimney sitting next to me. I didn't even notice that. David said, "Here, put it over here," and so I got it off the heat a little bit, so I could manage the heat.
Mm-hmm.
So the second steak was much better than the first. I charred the living out of that first steak, but it was all good.
But yeah, you know what? The thing about those pans is. The thing about those pans is they're still pans. You know, I mean, you put a lot of heat on them.
Oh yeah. I had the sear going. I had the hell sear.
I typically, you know what, Randy, to get it to the perfect cook, man. Especially for an FCA cook, I like to cool off like around the 135 point. I think I just go medium high on that pan.
Yep.
On a burner, man, and just like that. By the time you get both flips in about 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, you're right at that temperature perfectly.
Absolutely.
So it's not even a hot pan. You just let the pan do the work.
Yep.
And plus that 2.5-inch crevice that goes all the way around blows that heat right over, so you don't have to even lid that.
Yep.
So you don't want any moisture to get inside of there. You want all that nice dry heat.
I had to
over the cook.
I had to that day though because it was cold. It was cold outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was chilly out. It was chilly outside then. It was like 50 degrees out. So, so it just sucked the heat right out. I mean, the bottom, the pan got a great sear, but it was just, there was no convection because it was just, it was an open pan and it looks like cooking on a camp out. Cooking at an RV site.
Just next time, put one of those dragon blowers underneath it and just like go all out. You know what I mean?
There you go. There you go. Well, I wasn't lacking for fire. That was for sure, man. I had an inferno going on in my chimney, so it was good though. It was fun. It was a great opportunity. I'm glad I did it.
Do you have a Smoky Joe with the big ones?
Yeah, that's what I was using. I used Joey Machado's with. In fact, I gave him a shout out last week. With B&B charcoal, he let me use his. In fact, he let us cook on his. He kind of gave us carte blanche and welcomed us into his cook site.
You probably neatly stacked the char logs, right, to blow all the hot air straight up into the air, so you can get like 4 feet of ignition on that.
He had it. He had all that there. He had whatever I needed, so it would have been cool. But anyway, so it was fun. Anyway, I wanted to make sure I gave Kathy a shout out because she's awesome. She's the most amazing person. Anyway, she helped me out a lot. So, and she knows she's awesome. She was awesome before that, so she really is now. But I wanted to mention another couple of people. Dennis Butterworth with Texas War Pig Barbecue. He actually did I think he got a couple of good awards that night and so forth, but it was kind of cool. He kind of flew in. He flew in, got a couple of awards at the awards banquet, and the next day he flew out because somebody had taken his trailer and stuff to one of the Texas barbecue comps, down in his area, and he actually flew in. He flew back in the next day so that he could cook the comp. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was good. It was good to see him and hang out with him on Thursday night, I guess. So anyway, yeah, enough about the MBBQA, but I remember there were a couple of things about it last week that I had some I had a bunch of stuff in my notes and for those who weren't there, I mean literally all of it went off, so I kind of had to stumble through and ad-lib the first 15 minutes, and after that it was good because all I did was start doing what I'll do best, is talking, gabbing. Just ask Natalie. Natalie will tell you. So anyway, all right, brother. I want to know everything about what is going on in your life. So for the benefit of my listeners, I kind of want, if you will, give just a little bit of a background on how you entered the culinary industry and so forth. But, kind of start as far back as it goes, because I think you've got some, even childhood, memories there. So
yeah,
kind of start it.
That's kind of where it all leads up from, from the parents. That's kind of where you always pick it up, whether it's your grandmother making a sauce or it's the smell of roasting peppers in the morning, which is in my case with my dad. It's at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Most people smell coffee. you already smell coffee at 5 and the peppers roasting at 7, starting dinner, you know, in my family when we were growing up in Puerto Rico.
I love it.
When we moved back into Philadelphia, I was about 17 years old when I had like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like kind of moved out of the city. My parents shipped me out to live with my brother down in King of Prussia, PA, like in that area, actually Royersford. And I worked down in the Aramark dining service for the first time when I was about that age. And I guarantee you, I tried to sneak back a couple times on the weekends, you know what I mean? In the first times when I lived out there. It was like 90210 to me.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine what you wouldn't find out there. I mean, it's a bustling metropolis, I'm sure.
Total culture shock for me, man. But you know what? After 3 months or 3 or 4 months, I'm pretty happy I didn't go back. You know what I mean? Because I stayed with it. I had a good chef, actually, still friend of mine to this day, and we still communicate every day. You know, just in one way or another, whether it's liking each other's posts and stuff. Michael Markowski, he's the first chef to ever put a spatula in my hand or ever because I was running the grill or, you know, do dishes. And he's the first one to tolerate, like, me, like, because I was hard-headed, man, coming from the city and kind of turning my life around. And, yeah, I owe a lot of what I do to a guy like that. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
In the surface level. And that's at a young age, you know, but I was able within 6 months to take a grasp of it, you know what I mean, and just kind of come back by the end of my term there in 2 years or something like that I worked there with him, is just be in charge of a shift and whatever and actually be able to run a shift.
That's cool.
Then,
how old are you?
From that point, Randy,
how old are you when you did that?
I was about 18, 17,
okay.
18.
All right. Just kind of entering it
young in the business, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So I was by the time I moved out into the Phoenixville area then, and I started working down at the Epicurean. At the time, the Epicurean was the legit fine dining place of all Phoenixville. You know what I mean? Like even Richard Gere, when he was like dating, you know, they had celebrities coming in there and stuff like that. It was really nice and high known restaurant. I worked there for 5 years with Lee Crazley and you know, there's a couple standout chefs like Craig Valentine and Andrew Deary, a lot of guys that are really into the culture of a culinary that I trained under right there. And that's kind of the molding part for the culinary aspect of it, man. That's the younger years, you know?
That's cool.
But
were these guys, was this all out in the Poconos or somewhere? Like in that area?
No, this was in the Philadelphia area, the greater Philadelphia.
I got you.
So outside of Philly, the King of Prussia is like maybe like the biggest city outside of Philly.
That's right.
Like heading towards King of Prussia is like the bigger, you know, Norristown, and then you hit into that area, the Philadelphia suburbs.
Got it.
So
that's cool.
Into the Philadelphia suburbs. Now I'm living out in the Tamaqua area, you know, out in that area, which is the coal region. So it's basically literally the heart of America. You know, the first energy force. You know what I mean? Literally
Absolutely.
the heartbeat of America.
No, I loved it. You
And,
know, we went out there. We had an SCA cook out there. That was a charming little town. Great people. We had fun. We were treated incredibly well.
Everybody's mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Very accepting. I'm looking forward to doing that again. I was just talking to Vic about that too. We're doing that one again. That's going to be exciting too, by the way.
Right. With Vic's Chimney Cartel. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So after that, I started working at a restaurant in Limerick, Pennsylvania under Christian Hipster, starting off called the Lakeside Inn, which was like right now, still to this day, you'll probably have over 2 or 3 dozen people still talking about working there. Wow. We used to put out like $3.4 to $4 million a year in revenue, you know, just pumping out 50 to 60 weddings sometimes in a calendar year. It was just like doubling them up sometimes, single, double, off-premise catering, everything like that. I was executive chef there for about 8 years after Kristen and left and Jimmy, those guys. So for 8 years, I ran that ship right there, man. That's kind of where it kind of prepared me for like numbers. That's where the speed had to become part of efficiency. You know what I mean? It's where I learned how to merge those two things, is to stay on top of my game and to stay on top of like everything, is kind of train myself to get into motion and mixing like also the finesse to go with it. So it's one
Sure.
of the hardest things to do, but
The 360-degree kitchen
it,
dance.
that's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just basically when you zone out and your hands just disappear, man, into the motion, it all becomes just like one thing, man. That's kind of how I feel at peak service. I feel like service completely slows down and I'm control of it because of the training that I put myself through. That's what I consider it. When the line cooks think it's a job, you know, that's what it's going to be. But when it becomes a passion, you're going to let that line actually become a heartbeat with you, and you're going to go passionately, and you're not going to know what speed is anymore, because everything's just going to slow down regardless, because you're going to be prepared for anything.
Absolutely.
So,
when you master the rhythm, it doesn't consume you anymore. Like I think it does a lot of your some of your line cooks and so forth. Not all of them. I bet some really incredible ones, but I mean, you tend to, when once you've mastered that dance, it's not overwhelming anymore. That's cool.
It's really cool, because it's funny you say that dance, because one thing that I do practice, and I practice into the method that I cook, is a Brazilian war dance, is capoeira. It's kind of like the same motion when I go to the seasoning shelf.
Yeah.
If you notice on the line we're set up, I got the oil bottles to the back, and it dips back a little, and then the sauce is down to the other side. So I never reach over like one way. I always reach across, because, I can look at exactly what I'm doing and where components are working where. Because sometimes I'm running 8-10 burners at one time with different dishes in each one. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to just stay on top of it on a constant motion, just a constant movement. I think that once you stop is where everything just kind of goes bad. You just got to keep yourself in rhythm.
Absolutely.
So it's one of the inside things that chefs really, really start to, like, with your mise en place and how you set up, is make sure you set it up where it works together. You know what I mean? It's a one-hand grab.
Absolutely.
So if you got to take extra steps, that's where it works to your disadvantage. So that's kind of some of the things that I learned under these great chefs, like the Michael Markoskis of the world, the Lee Crazleys, Rondo Mundo, the late Rondo Mundo. He passed, but I learned from him at the Moshulu in Center City in Philadelphia. I was a sous chef there for those guys for a year, and that was pretty fucking cool, man. Excuse my language, but just walking onto a boat and being able to go down into the mess hall and be cooking that kitchen into a fine dining restaurant, that was cool. It was the tallest sailboat in Philadelphia, man. We're talking about 150-foot sail. It was just, like, beautiful.
Nice.
The boat was called the Moshulu, and it was a fine dining restaurant, staple of Philadelphia. I worked there, and that's some of the training that I got under, fine dining and going into old and original bookbinders in Center City, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I worked there, and I did my stint at La Familia too with that crew, and that's where the passion for Italian cooking really kind of kicked in.
Nice.
That's my first exposure to like the consistency. So now I've mastered, like, I went back and I've already got the speed down. I already took care of numbers part and everything like that. Now what am I mastering is what started with La Familia. The care and the precision that they put into the food.
Yeah.
Kind of had to. At that point, I was only like 5 years in, so I just kind of scrapped everything else, kind of like what you learn. I got to relearn everything, start all over again. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be taught. You know what I mean? Because that's when you become a problem for chefs. Because if you're afraid to be taught, you can't expand with that particular chef. That's not how it works. You have to be able to be taught, because it's not that you're being taught something new. It's just the way that he operates and the way he wants to use the extension as himself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's approach.
So it's a different.
It's your job to help make his vision come true in every dish.
And once absolutely. And you know what? It's like an octopus with extending arms that you could just cut off and regrow. You know what I mean? It's like you have a lot of multiple people in different places, and that you teach them, but it's if they're working for you as a sous chef for more than, I would say, 3 years.
Yeah.
I would say that you're not doing your job. They should be running their own restaurant by then.
Absolutely.
They should be somewhere running something somewhere for you and making that commitment to that self. So
absolutely. Yeah. The training should be intense and focused, and they literally should be training for your job. Right. And then taking it somewhere else. So, by the way, we got 30 seconds,
Right.
and you're gonna have plenty of time to tell the rest, because I want to make sure the rest of this, because it gets good, as good as it is right now. It gets really, really good here pretty quick. So, we got about 20 seconds. I didn't want to get you set up on started on another tangent and then have to cut you off.
We're just gonna fast forward to the beach. The little bit of time that I spent down there in Ocean City running Vittorio's there with the guys down there.
I love it. All right, we got 5 seconds. Everybody, make sure you come back here and stay tuned for Chef Hiram Quintana.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
All right, Spoonies, we're back. So we are online. Are you on, Hiram?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I just want to make sure you were on there. So I've got executive chef Hiram Quintana, just a good friend, a culinary brother, and the executive chef of not only Lions Den Catering, but the executive chef of Greenhouse Enoteca in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I'm excited to have you on. We were on the first half of the show. We kind of got started on your kind of your ascent, if you will, into the culinary realm. Yeah. And I want you to continue your stories because I love them. And I know you from the last several years, but the kind of prowess that you have and show is it's the culmination of so many years and so much background and experience and so forth that I want to know it all. So let's just get right back into it. Go ahead and continue right where you were.
Yeah. So just flashing back into like the after I got done with the Lakeside Inn. During the course that I was at the Lakeside, and I met these guys from Vittorio's Italian restaurant, Vittorio, Clay Mamo. Those two guys, some of the best energy I've ever seen, right? We went down to the shore, down into Ocean City, New Jersey, right down at the coastal point, and we opened together the Vittorio's Italian restaurant concept that they're still operating now after 5 years, and still up into this year, those guys are still out there banging it. And to this year, they won Best of Shore again, 2018, and I think they rotated that award like 5 times years in a row. It's a concept we started together, and they continued it strong, and I'm proud of those guys for consistently going down there. But they they captured like 3 years of my life through working on that project. I was down at the beach, like 3 years in a row, going down there season after season with them, working, and that's what led me on to the Lions Den catering. Then at that point, when I moved into the Tamaqua area, so that was a starting point for me. That's why I had to, I didn't cut ties completely. I still talk to those guys on a daily basis. I keep in touch. The funny thing about this, Randy, is that everybody that I know in my culinary life, it's like my family. It's my culinary family. I still talk to them to this day, like if it was yesterday,
Sure.
So it's kind of how I communicate with them to this day. And it's a beautiful thing to never burn a bridge in this business, because it's a small world. It's a circular world, and everything kind of rotates around. You see the same people everywhere. You never know.
Absolutely.
Some vendors walk in. Some vendors will walk into a dishwasher, say, "Where's your boss?" And that dishwasher is going to say, "Oh, he's over there." But there's going to be a day that you're going to walk in and see that dishwasher, and he's going to be the boss. You know what I mean? So you got to learn how to, when you go into these kitchens, to respect the full staff fully.
Absolutely.
This business that we have, you can be a star and work up these ranks in less than 6 months.
Absolutely.
It can be as quick as that,
Well, and
so
let's face it, the reality is that the world is very small. and if you burn a bridge, there's a good chance that that's going to come back and bite you later on. I mean, that's it's interesting. I see the food scene here in Dallas, and the culinary scene, the chefs and so forth, and and it's interesting how everything tends to come full circle, and the people you worked with 5, 7, 8 years ago, something like that, you'll work with it. There's a good chance you'll be working with them again, somewhere else down the line. So it pays to to nurture and maintain those connections and make sure that good people do that anyway. Good people don't just pull the pin on the grenade and leave and just burn all bridges. So it's important. It's important to make sure that that you the people that you've been to battle with, that you've from a culinary perspective, that you respect them and you respect the fact that they stood side by side with you. So it's and I know you do a great job of that. So there's not a question, absolutely no question.
It's all about networking. It's all about the network. It's all about the friends you keep, Yeah. It's building that network and communicating constantly. That's what's going to make you great, man. It's all, they're all your team still, man. They're still all on your team. You know what I mean? You
and they're all
work
people
together towards one common goal. Let's feed the people.
Yeah. They're all people. They're all people. They all have stories, they have things going on in their lives and so forth that are important. I mean, it's some people manufacture their drama and so forth, and some people have some issues of varying degrees in the business. But the reality is, it is a family, and everybody's everybody's in it together. The good people are all in it together. So the world gets really small when you can nurture those connections, or else you can just cast them by the wayside, but you will see them again.
Yep.
So
I keep a Rolodex still, my friend.
Right.
I got cards in there from 15 years. I still keep a Rolodex.
All right. So Lion's Den, brother.
Yeah, so
Lion's Den. Let's
Lion's Den.
I want tell me about it. Yep.
The stage was all set. Basically, literally, this is when I first met you. When I first moved into the Tamaqua region, I started the Lions Den catering, where I started to host a series of dinners down there that caught pretty much a pretty good attention and got a good eye, called the Taste of Tamaqua, where I would go with different artists like John McCoy, Stephen Bennett, Joe Mariani. We're talking world class artists that have exhibits now in art museums, and one's painting other countries' presidents out in indigenous countries like Bali and Indonesia and stuff. So
wow,
it was really cool to work with great artists and really, really step up my game. Now I've done the whole part of the culinary. Now this is when I got into the art value of what we do. This is where all the plating came into play, and where I learned how to take some of my best fusion work I did in that house, surrounded by some of the best art in the world. You know what I mean? Just kind of working with these artists and learning about the different cultures that they use in their artwork and stuff like that. It just basically was learning world cuisine, and that's when I fell in love with it. So that's basically what I started to do, is to influence every single cuisine into one style.
That's awesome. And your plating is awesome. So I mean, that's interesting to know that aspect, and you know what influenced you there, because that's I know your stuff really well, and you know, very very well, dare I say, and you know, yeah, no, that's cool to know what has you know, kind of what has influenced your style and so forth, and you know, but yet you haven't copied anything. It seems like you've taken, you know, I think one of the things that you're best at is you know, taking something that may be an inspiration to you and making it your own in ways that I don't think very many people on this planet can. And you know, I've always found that you know, a very enviable trait is that you know, you are an original for sure. And you know, so it's been a pleasure to watch you work over the course of the last several years. So but you know, let's keep going, because it gets good. This story is about to get awesome. So you know, so
yeah,
you were
into there.
Yeah. Okay. So you started, you know, started Lions Den Catering, and then, you know, and I met you right after that. I guess it was in 2016, right?
Yep.
And so I was headed back to World for my second my second time in 2015.
Yep.
In 2015, Natalie actually competed with me in burger
camp, right?
Yeah. I ended up with a 5th in 2015. But when you get a top a top 10 in World Food Championships, you know, you have a seat available for you if you want it the next year, and naturally, you know, without having to requalify. So you know, so 2016 was a shoe-in deal. It was nice. It was fun. But anyway, and you know, Natalie, poor Natalie, and the first year, she was such a trooper. She flew in. She didn't even get a chance to enjoy Orlando. She flew in with me, and you know, and competed with me, and then had to fly right back out. We had kids. We had, you know, she had to teach. It's difficult yeah. So anyway, you know, she didn't get a chance to enjoy any of it, but she was glad to be a part of it. But the next year, you know, she said, "Yeah, I'll not and say I did. How about that? You're gonna have to find somebody else." And we, you know, we were put into contact you know, a couple of months before, I guess. So you know, take it from there. You know, tell me about you know, tell me about how things kind of led up to your going to, because you had a couple of interesting gigs and so forth, you know, with Jonathan and so forth, you know, leading up to WFC. So start there.
Leading up to it, yeah. All right. So then we, you know, with the Lions Den, through the Lions Den Catering, caught a little bit of you know, little attention and stuff like that. And I actually got in contact with a cutting board sponsor that was kind of mutual between all of us, which was Cutting Boards. And I literally went to Chopped. He invited me to go for the first time to go on Chopped, Rooftop Chopped at the New York City Wine and Food Festival. I was like, well, that should be interesting.
Absolutely.
I was like, well, let's go ahead and do that. That sounds like a fun time. So in my whole head at first, I was thinking Chopped. Like, yeah, Chopped. Like, I could jump into like something, just give you a whole bunch of stuff and I'll cook it. That sounds like something easy that I can do. But I didn't see all the parameters till a couple of days after, when he told me what the rules were, that we had to cook for 3,000 people on a rooftop next to a Disney cruise ship in like the lower port of Manhattan. So that was pretty cool at the New York City Wine and Food Fest. So it was a rooftop chop live event where it was like it was just like it was like, after doing everything that I've done in all of my career and stuff like that, I owe it to that guy for taking me and just showing me a little bit of the spotlight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just showing me a little bit of spotlight and just seeing, hey, wait, this is what it's like. This is kind of fun.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we did the Itasian inspired meatball that So we made, the day before we went to Chopped, we made 3,000 meatballs on the porch and cooked it all on a Smokey Weber little grill, Weber 22-inch grill.
Yeah.
So we cooked 3,000 meatballs in one grill and his house oven.
How long did it take you to do that?
Huh?
How long did it take you to do that?
What was it?
3,000.
It took me and Jonathan.
Yeah.
I think, we had to ball them all up first.
Sure.
All
yeah.
1 ounce, like 1.5 ounce meatballs, and then put them on the oven and stuff. And by the time we seasoned each batch and got all said and done, I think we had to trade shifts at one point, and I had to wake up out of my dead sleep and make 50 pounds of mashed potatoes to go to the rooftop and report in and set up. So it was pretty damn cool that the way it was all compressed, and that was food sport right there. You know what I mean? Because we were on the clock.
Of course.
We started the day before. You know what I mean? I clocked in the day before. I didn't wait till I was there to the event. As soon as I showed up, I showed up. That's how it goes. And, man, we banged it out with flying colors. Man, we had a serpentine of a line. We were banging out, I think, on average of something like between all of us that we had helping and everything, I think we were averaging out like 10 plates every 8 seconds. Just flashing through, and I was plating right behind him, and they were just reaching back. I was doing 8 plates at a time, boom, boom, on the setting, and just flying through. And it was almost like a dance because they had reggae going. You know, I'm a big
sure, yeah. You start to get your rhythm. Absolutely.
Reggae playing right on the pier. They had reggae playing right there. I was just kind of dancing and grooving along, man. At the end of the day, we ended up feeding 2,700 of them.
Wow.
So
I love it.
That was in an hour and 45 minutes.
I love it. That was an hour and 45 minutes. Less than 2 hours. Banged out almost 3,000 in less than 2 hours.
Yeah, 45-minute rush. It was just a little push, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little something. So
my little brother, brother does. He started with me with this whole numbers game that I told him. It's a numbers game for me, right? So I look at the covers and I break it down into time slots, and I allot them that time. You know what I mean? So it gives me a little bit of time to be, and sometimes the number goes up. So let me clarify it. When I see a ticket that's been in for more than 7 minutes, I'm already looking at it.
Yep.
And I average a 12 to 14 minute ticket time right now on a middle of a Friday or Saturday night, all day with my menu. No matter if you see a 10 top or a deuce, I will pump it out like if it was a deuce, a 10 top.
I don't know.
And I would still have my same presentation and not jeopardize one thing on it.
That's so cool. I love it.
That's one thing. That's what everything led up to. So I was able to do that right there at that point. And from that point on, he invited me to go to the World Food Championships with him after that. That was a great invitation as well, because that's where I was able to come in and do what I do best. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just cook.
Yeah.
So I got put in the biggest stage, in the biggest platform, and I just performed. That's what I did, and this is where we are to this point. The adventure from there to here is where it all began, as far as in the public eye. But that's where it began for me, as far as the Lion's Den catering.
Absolutely. He was generous enough to kind of loan you to me after, because we cooked in different days, and so you got to cook with me and Terry Allen, my sous chef at the time, who lives here local with me, and a good friend, and she was a trooper. She enjoyed working with you too, so it was pretty awesome. It was a treat, and it was good, great to have you as a part of the team, and then it naturally our friendship has blossomed from there. But I mean, it was cool. Yeah, she enjoyed watching your work, and but she said later on she really enjoyed watching us work, kind of side by side together. So there was good rhythm there. So that's been awesome. But so after that WFC, you've got about just under 13 minutes. So but I still want to catch all of it. So after that, let's start there. After that WFC,
that's the start to my competition thing. So at the end of the WFC, I was walking around, and this is where everything kind of transitions for me, because excuse me. The World Food Championships was a transition of my culinary style in all of my career, because then I went into the barbecue arena and I stepped into the rigs. I started looking at the rigs, and I started one particular rig that caught my attention was with Chester Reed with Cookie, with the Zach Brown bangs, big giant massive food truck, and I started looking at the food trucks, and I swear, I think I told you too I told you before I left there that I was going to go back and build one and bring one back and park it here.
You did
next year, didn't I?
You did. You said exactly that.
I'm going to go back home, build one,
and I gave
bring it back next year.
Yeah,
and have it right here.
I gave it due consideration at the time. I was like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. And damn if you didn't make it happen.
Yep. Within 3 months, I had it built out, framed out, and ready to roll, and I launched it and just
Did I lose
But
you?
we cooked together the next year in the barbecue.
We did. We did.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
So we cooked on the same barbecue team. So, you know, that's basically on the build up to that, you know, all of that year, I think between going with Ribs Within, with Doug Kyles and a couple other guys that I joined up in barbecue and going to Catskills, I think about 13 walks, you know what I mean, total. I took a couple first places in burgers, a couple second in the world in World Food Championships in burger with Doug. I was 15th in seafood. I just can't remember because I've competed in like 8 out of 9 categories, I think, so far.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to sous chef, because the one year I went down and cooked in 4 categories then. So it was, I'm big for that, to taking on big giant challenges like that. So I took on the challenge of the Lions Den catering and led it up to the trading post in Tamaqua and to a lot of other different projects that kind of just prepared me for what I just walked into at the greenhouse. Kind of like everything that I did in my whole career. When I got to meet Sal and I got to meet Heidi at the greenhouse with their concept, it all made sense, if that makes any sense. My whole culinary career made perfect culinary sense. It's exactly where we needed to be at that time. So we just went at it, and now we're running a thriving little shop right down in downtown Allentown, in the west side of Allentown, and the Greenhouse in Inoteca. I'm the executive chef there. I've been since the opening day, and it's been really fun. The input, the feedback that I've been getting and stuff, and it's been a really fun farm to table project. It's 100%. I believe in their sustainability, man. It's pretty hard to believe in somebody's sustainability. I've been all over the country so far in different farms and different concepts, and I haven't seen somebody so dedicated to it genuinely as these 2 ladies right here, and their brother Tony too, also as well. So really proud to be working with such cool people like that and working with their project and making it the best that it can be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because all I can give it is my passion. So
it looks like a neat deal. I love it. So to help my listeners understand a little bit more about that, that their dedication to that, not just a farm to table, but literally they grow this stuff out back. It's a really impressive operation. And just give me a minute or two on that.
It's an impressive approach. So Salvina and Heidi and Tony have been working on the project now for a lot of years. And Heidi's actually been working it passionately all of her life. You know what I mean? She's lived by the greenhouse, and it was an old greenhouse. The Ross family, I think it was called the Ross. I hope I don't mess up that name, but it was the Ross family greenhouse, and it was beautiful. It's 30 feet long, I think. I measurements a little off, but it's like 20 by 30. It's massive, and it had some of the best flowers that you could find in the country sitting there growing for a long time. And they retired away from the greenhouse, and their vision was to Heidi's vision was to convert it into the restaurant that it is today. And with Sal and Tony's help, they were able to make that happen together. And the unique part about the partnership with those guys is that Sal is very, 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 very knowledgeable as far as wine is concerned. And Greenhouse Inoteca translates to, wine bar.
Yeah.
So it's a greenhouse wine bar. So that's the concept. It's a pretty cool pub atmosphere, but it's a wine bar instead. So we won't have your average Miller Lite or Budweiser stuff like that. Everything that we carry is all local Pennsylvania craft distillery. Everything is all made right there within our community in Pennsylvania. So it's a heartbeat of our own community kind of concept. So that's basically, it's a 100% character driven place, man. Everybody's a unique character. So it's a different experience every time you come, because I believe in all of our staff that way. I think that our staff is as knowledgeable as our chefs, you know what I mean? Because that's the approach that we try to take as far as culinary is concerned. Is the cool part about it is our grower, the greenhouse grower that's going to be growing all the greens, the microgreens, the tomatoes, all the stuff that we're going to need for the plate, for whatever we need. He's working the restaurant and learning every single station first, so he can engulf himself into the menus, into the recipe, and how we execute the ingredients, so he could know accurately what he has to grow and where he needs to grow it. So we don't have to, we can use the space for, precision. So you have to treat it in that way too, like a refrigerator, what you grow, you know what I mean?
That's
so
awesome. He's his own supply chain. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically that's where the fun parts, because it's not 100% in operation right now. It's building to that point, but you could see where it's going to go. Right now, what's driving is the wine bar. The wine is absolutely amazing. I mean, Sal's been making that family wine for the longest time, and she's serious about her approach, man. I walked in there one day, man. I was like, I saw it for the first time, because I don't think I've ever walked to work and there's a winemaker right on the other side, right by the pantry, making wine right there as you go. I don't know if it gets any fresher than that, but the wine is fabulous, and it's pairing well with the food, making barbecue sauce out of it and everything. Like, that's kind of the concept point. That's where the point takes off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of an idea, and that's kind of what you get.
I love it. Your food distributor's worst nightmare. You grow your own herbs and greens. You make your own wine. I know you hand make your own pasta and your own sauces and so forth. So yeah, I just find that incredibly fascinating. That almost everything in there is made by hand, fresh.
Everything is in house. Yeah. Yes, if we dream it, we make it. That's basically what me and my guys do. We dream up something. Hey, what if we try this? We just bring it to life, and we just let it go, and release it into basically our followers, our people, our clients. They came in every day. We're having a beautiful, beautiful turnout. It's so cool to see, after all these years, a tailgate outside the restaurant before it opens up. Literally 20 minutes before it opens, we'll have 30 to 40 people waiting in line to get into the restaurant. And then after that, you'll be an hour and a half on average on the weekends wait.
Yeah.
We can't force people on our tables. We have, what we have in seating is what we have in seating. Mm-hmm. So it's basically, up to the consumer to basically flip their own tables. I just can't do reservations at this point. You know what I mean? There's so many people to feed.
Well, and let's face it, so the community has pretty well embraced you guys, right? I mean, they tailgate willingly. They go hang out. Plus, I think you feed them too. Yeah. But tell me about it.
Yeah, they are the community. Heidi, Sal, and Tony, they are the community. They've been in that community for years. And everybody that's showing up is their close friends, their families, we have a lot of customers, but everything's based off what the freshness is and the concept and stuff. But yeah, it's a community hub, and that's the cool part about it, is to see everybody who's anybody just kind of hanging out there every weekend and talking to each other from across the room. You know what I mean? Hey, saluting each other before they sit at the table, almost like it's a tradition now for them, and that's what we want to be. We don't want to be a flash in the pan. We just want to become a tradition and part of the community.
Sure. I love it. So what's next? What's next with Hiram?
Well, what's next right now? I'm going with Robert Mansfield, preparing to go to the World Food Championship final table with him. We're going to be going out to compete together in New Orleans. I heard they have a whole new cool setup. And that's my next move, man. Everything's been leading down to that. I knew that for a couple months that I was going to be going down there. So I've been intensely engulfed and in training into that, working on recipe development and working on all kind of, different ways to, the thing about Creole cooking, you don't have an extensive amount of time to create the big, profound bases that come from Creole cooking when you come into the arena. So
right.
It's to be able to take that. I'll take all the fusion factors that you learn throughout your cooking career to simplify the steps. So once I know exactly what I'm cooking on the first round, I'll just work on execution after that point. It just becomes simpler and simpler.
I love it.
Know what I'm working with.
So, I love it. When is that?
Yeah,
what date is that?
Pretty sure it's May, mid-May, something like that.
I think it's the 19th. I think it's the 19th on a Sunday. Okay. You may you may see a buddy out there.
Yeah, so it's going to be Robert Mansfield, Matt Brown from Pensacola, Florida.
Yep.
Now executive chef. What was the name of the place that he started now at the?
I forget.
But he has the black garlic. The black garlic is one of our key ingredients in the steak cook. that they did that took the first place in the first place. So yeah, we're just going to be a return trio, and hopefully we all meet up down there and converge and do a little bit of competition cooking in a world platform. See what happens. See
I
what
love
the
it.
results are going to be.
I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you may see a buddy down there. I don't know. Well, I'm still working on my I'm still working on my schedule.
Oh, I got. This is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be fun. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that I want to miss it.
Dude, the format looks. I got to admit, man, this format looks awesome. The way they prepared the format and the way everything is like leading up and everything. They've done. Mike has been doing his job as far as what food sport is and what introduction to food sport and what everything is as far as the arena, as far as everything, how it's been setting up and dividing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the platform. I like the way it divides up. It's 2 different characters. The top 10 actually have the opportunity to actually promote within their brand and within themselves and give themselves a little bit of time before being a flash to the other. So
nice.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Cool.
So we got 20 seconds. Give me 10 seconds. What's on the special this week?
This weekend we're gonna go seafood. We're gonna work on Lenten, so we're gonna go with the pescatore. I'm gonna make some fresh pappardelle pescatore, some mussels, some beautiful Bible salads.
Love it. All right, hey man, thanks for hanging out with me. Hey listeners, thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Spreading to one of the church's